Now tell me about Saint Lucifer's. A lot of people that know me know that me and you are friends. Tell us about the history of the name and all that.
Sure. Well, for years we were the Executioner's Castle, and one day we all decided we were just not tapped out of ideas, but tired of the Gothic thing. So we decided we were going to come up with a new name. So we spent a couple hours brainstorming on names, and we broke it up into groups. We had about maybe 5 groups of about 8 people that were working on names. And we had decided the theme was going to be a Catholic mental hospital. And this Catholic mental hospital was going to have all the stuff that a typical Catholic hospital does. It was going to have priests and nuns and a cathedral and all this stuff going on at the same time. And so the focus groups were concentrating on some kind of name for it. And it got down to what they wanted to call it St. Luke's. And I said, you can't call it St. Luke's. There was an old parish in town called St. Luke's, and there are many members from that parish still living in this area. And then they wanted to call it Saint something else. I said, no, that's really a saint, I think, you know. And it was just before Google came on the scene. I mean, you weren't so quick to Google something up and find out there was really a saint named that or not. So we ended up going through a whole battery of names. And, I was going group to group to group and talking to people. I come back to this one group, and they were like, sure they had it all figured out. You know, they were going to call it Saint Lucifer's. And I said, wow, that's an interesting approach. And they said, well, it's tongue-in-cheek enough that no one will believe there's really a saint named Lucifer. And I said, well, okay, fine. Let's entertain the idea. We talked about it a little bit further, and the groups beat around the idea together, and we decided we would keep it. We decided to keep the name St. Lucifer's. And since then, I have discovered there really is a guy named Lucifer who really was petitioned to become a saint, to become canonized. And it's funny how I didn't know any of this in the first place. In spite of having a very Catholic religious upbringing, I never heard of Lucifer. I'd heard of the Lucifer that was the saint, that was the
There he is.
the haunted place. I'd heard about Lucifer the angel and all this stuff, but I'd never heard about Lucifer as a canonized person. So,
Getting a little creepy.
anyways, we took the name and went with it, and ironically, the hate mail started the moment that name hit the streets.
Yeah.
I started getting letters and nasty phone calls, and people would call up and threaten to kill me and kick my butt. And I was like, wow, did we hit a vein with somebody here? Most of the time they were confusing Lucifer with the devil, and they're very different people, So
Yeah.
it was just they didn't really even understand their own religion to some extent, and so I was getting a little frustrated. But at the same time, I always remembered my mom saying that there's no such thing as bad publicity,
Yeah.
So,
Well, a lot of people don't know Lucifer was like the most beautiful angel till he went up against God, and then he got cast out.
yeah, Lucifer.
And when he got cast out, he wasn't Lucifer no more.
Right. He was one of the first. He was the archangel, the first archangel to get cast out, from what I hear. And also, Lucifer stands for first light. That was his translation of his name. So, but it's just an interesting name, and it's funny how that name is so well known. It's just unusual. I mean, you get a lot of 13 this and 13 that, and you get a lot of horror this and horror that, or fear this and fear that, or terror this and terror that. So the names get kind of muddied together. But there really is no other St. Lucifer's. Mm-hmm. And I'll be in Vegas for a trade show, and somebody will be like, I've heard of that,
Yeah.
or they'll come to me and say, you're St. Lucifer's? That's so cool. What a great name. And I always smile at people. I say, it's a great name till you have to sit at a corporate meeting and try and sell a sponsorship. And it's not so easy to explain. It's a long story, but